Scott. Ask Scott.
Hey Scott, this is John from St. Augustine, Florida, the oldest city in the United States, and I have a question about PPC. I sell many products that are all related. They could use the same keywords. Basically, if you think of them as different SKUs, not necessarily different variations because they are different products, but they're the same. So, they're the same object, but different variations, but they would be in theory like different companies. So, like if I sold a variety of garlic presses, but from different places, that sort of thing. And so what I'm trying to do with PPC is dominate all the slots for a given keyword search. So right now when I search for it, if I searched for garlic press, for example, I have the top two, and I've also got the right side top square. So that's really good. But what I really want is all of them. So I want the top two, I want the right top square, and then I want the two below that as well. And so what I'm trying to figure out is how do I do that? Do I need to set up do I need more campaigns or more ad groups within campaigns? So for example, if I want all 5 slots, if I had, let's say, 8 campaigns using the same search terms and the bids set very high, would I then be able to dominate and get all 5 of these slots? Or is there another way that I need to structure it? And so, my main concern surrounds in how to structure this in terms of campaigns, versus group, ad groups. Do I do a campaign for each? Oh, and then also within the campaigns, you can have multiple ads, which then can feature those products, which I assume are being rotated within its given slot. So for example, if rather than having on a campaign multiple ads, if instead I just had one ad but multiple campaigns, would I then be able to take up more slots, assuming that I've bid plenty high such that I could take out the competition? So that's my question. It's a little bit different than the standard private label where people have 1 or 2 products. I've got many, and so what I'm trying to do is get the most exposure for all my products with generic search terms, and hopefully that helps you. Again, I know you like the name in there. My name is John from St. Augustine, Florida. Thank you, and by the way, your information is excellent. You're so generous. Thank you for everything you do.
Hey, John, thank you so much for the question, man. I really do appreciate it. And, this is a question I have not been asked, and it's something that I really haven't even used myself, but I do like this idea. And really what John is talking about, anyone that's brand new or may not be here yet, but he's really trying to dominate that page with all of the ads that are displayed on that page. So you want position, top, and then you want the position on the side, and you want the position in the middle, and maybe on the bottom. Now, Amazon is always rotating these anyway. So one day you may see that your page for your keyword, that is starting to show up on the top, and they have top ads. Well, some days they might not have top ads because they're always split testing as well. So I don't think there's a real clear way to say that you're going to be able to dominate all those positions. It's a great idea, a great thought. What I would probably say would be your best, I guess, chance of doing this is to create those separate campaigns, not necessarily ad groups in a sense. I would do separate campaigns personally. And then I would designate a budget for those, for that SKU, and then I would start to bid on all of those same keywords. Now, here's the thing, though. You are going to be competing against yourself, okay? And you know what? In some cases, it's okay because you're only going to really pay is if someone clicks on it. So if your impression is there all the time, or your ad is there because that's your impression, well, you may have 2 of those ad spots that come up, then you're only going to get charged if someone clicks on one of them, right? So you have a better chance, and I see what you're doing here. You have a better chance of someone clicking because if you take up the first spot and the side spot, or the top spot, side spot, and bottom spot, and even maybe the middle spot, well, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to be able to dominate that keyword, right? But then again, we want to make sure that our conversions are doing well, because, we can show up and that's great. But if we get clicks and we don't get sales, and that can hurt our listing as well. So you got to be careful. That's a little bit of a balancing act. I would play around with, like your 3 top products. And then I would go ahead and create those separate campaigns, use the same keyword lists if that's what you want. If you want to go after those keywords that are your primary gold keywords in a sense, or your really solid keywords, and then you're going to want to bid, on those. And I'm not really sure that you're going to be able to say, okay, well, I'm going to bid higher on this one because I want this one to display higher. I mean, that's getting a little, kind of like a little technical, and I'm not really sure if that's even possible. It's worth testing. But I think right now what you're saying is you just want your products to show up on that page. And that's what I think that you're doing. So if that's the case, and if that is what you're doing, then I would recommend exactly that. Create 3 different campaigns. Let's say it's 3 products that you want to rank on that same page, right? So then you would create 3 different ads, okay? 3 different campaigns with 3 lists of keywords that are identical inside of those. And then you're going to start bidding against each other, really. And then what's going to happen is you're going to start displaying on different parts of that page. I would want to test this. I would test it. It's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. And the other thing you have to consider here too is if you're not converting, but you're willing to spend more, sometimes the one that's converting but isn't spending will actually rank better. So that's another part of the equation that you might not have control over. So I would test it. I would take those 3 budgets. I would bid higher. So this way here, I can see if it's even possible to get all 3 of them to show up on one page. And I'd give that a day and see what happens. But that's really what you're going after. And that's what I think that I took away from your question. That's what I would try. I have not personally tried that. So I can't really say, personal experience here, but I can say logically, that's what I would think. I would think that you're going to have to create 3 different ad units or ad groups, and then you're going to have to bid on those keywords on each one. Okay. And it's the same thing as this, guys, that everyone that's listening is, if you want to take up more real estate, and you have 3 different products, well, you want to rank those 3 products organically, right? If you can take up 3 spots on page 1 organically, well, then you've got, 3 times the chance, or 3 times the chance, that is. You'd have 3 more chances, right? You have 3 chances. Actually, if you had 1 listing, you'd have 2 extra chances. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. You guys get what I'm saying. If you show up once, you get 1 chance. If you show up 3 times, you get 3 chances. That's what I'm trying to say here. So I got confused there for a second, right? So what you want to do, though, and the same thing is what you're saying here, John, is you want to be able to take up 3 spots of the pay-per-click somewhere on that page if possible. And that may be possible and it may not be possible. I'm not sure. But that's what I would do in order to take up more real estate. All right. So hopefully that's helped. I would say anyone that's wanting to know more about pay-per-click, I did an episode with Chris Schaefer, and that was episode 119. So if you go to theamazingseller.com/119, you can listen to that. And that's all of the new features that they've put into Amazon pay-per-click, which is basically being able to do your broad match, you're able to do your phrase match, you're able to do your exact match, and then also negative keywords. So all of that'll go in there, and then also a basic plan to get started. But with what we're talking about here, this is a little bit more advanced. We're trying to then dominate the page by, at creating more ads for these other products. So this way you can show up. So that's really what we're trying to do here. So hopefully that made some type of sense. I hope it did. And let me know how that works also, John. I'd really like some info back on that just to see what you did and kind of what the results were. That would be kind of cool to give a little bit of an update. If you guys want to submit a question, head over to theamazingseller.com/ask, and you can do that. I want to also, again, remind you guys, if you're brand new and this is your first time to the show, I want to welcome you. I love hanging out with you guys. This is just awesome to be able to virtually connect like this. And that's why I love the Ask Scott sessions. But if you are brand new and you're just getting your feet wet and you don't understand the entire process, the entire business model, I would recommend attending one of my live free workshops. This is where I break it down for you in 5 phases: how to pick a market and a product, how to source it, how to do a pre-launch, how to do a launch, how to promote the product, and everything in between. We go over that on a workshop, and we go through every single thing. We also do live Q&A. So if you want to attend one of them, I would love to invite you to the next one, and you can register for the next one by heading over to theamazingseller.com/workshop, and you can register there for an upcoming workshop. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business. So definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there and some of it is really, really good. But what I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business. And this way here, you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.